Hello there folks, welcome to Night's Arcade. I'm Sleepless Night, and if you watch my channel regularly, you'll know that I've started to get pulled further and further into Sea of Thieves. And so I wanted to know what information was going to be confirmed by Rare at Gamescom. If you missed any of this information and you want to hear about it, sit tight a few seconds while I open up shop. If you're the kind of person who follows developments in Sea of Thieves very closely indeed, you will probably know most of this already, but it was nice to have some information confirmed by Rare to Inside Xbox at yesterday's Gamescom. Rare executive producer Joe Neate started out by commenting on feedback from the recent Cursed Sails expansion that the time limit might have been too restrictive. So if, like me, you're one of those people with tiny windows of time in which to play, and you were frustrated by having to hunt those skeleton armadas in windows of a few hours each day, within a time-limited campaign window of 3 weeks, then you can relax a bit, as Joe Neate assured us that this expansion would be a bit more chill, presumably meaning that you will be allowed to complete Forsaken Shores campaign elements at a slightly more leisurely pace. But just in case you were getting the idea that you could lean back with a beer and a bag of pretzels using your free hand to guide your ship slovenly into moor at a white sandy beach on the gently rolling waves where a butler will carry your polished crates of loot onto your gently rocking, pristine ship,
forget it! You're all going to get killed by lava and earthquakes and boiled alive by the superheated waters around this poisonous island of death!
So yeah. The environment itself will not be quite as relaxing as the time frame you are given in which to explore it might indicate. Devil's Roar is the name of this new region of the map, and there seems to be some confusion online as to whether this is a single island or a region full of smaller islands, but whichever it is, this new area is volcanic, it is extremely volatile, and it is apparently much more perilous than any other region of the world we have so far seen in Sea of Thieves. You cannot spawn into this area, so the decision to set sail for it is yours, and while the volcanoes might be dormant when you arrive, they can erupt at any time, giving you pre-eruption warnings such as earth tremors, which might indicate the island is about to make you regret not buying that armor-plated tungsten umbrella as it rains down flaming rocks on you or gives you a superheated magmatic enema in the form of a geyser, which can apparently propel you into the air if you happen to be standing, or more likely running, across it when it blows. And in case you thought you could extinguish your flaming shoes in the sea as you flee to your ship, think again, because I wasn't joking when I said superheated waters around the island. Yes, the eponymous Sea of Thieves, apparently not content with trying to drown you, blow you up, eat you, or drag you down to be used as a toothpick by the Kraken, can now boil you in your salt-encrusted pirate shorts as you run from the melting island behind you. For this reason, Forsaken Shores will also introduce rowboats, which can be found throughout the world and docked with your ship to allow you safe travel between your ship and the island. But these rowboats can apparently be used in more creative ways, like filling full of loot chests so that you don't have to make so many trips to an island, or filled with explosive barrels and floated calmly and gently toward waiting enemy ships. How creative you can be with these, who knows, but I'm sure it will only take YouTube about 11 hours to find out, so we'll see that very, very shortly indeed. Other things coming with the Forsaken Shores are cargo runs. Rare's attempts to make the Merchant Alliance something other than the bane of every potential pirate legend's existence by giving you goods to transport from one place to another. But, just as chickens may drown and pigs may starve, these new cargoes will be perishable, so handle them with care. Bottles of rum, for example, are of course fragile and will only take so much rough handling, and certainly absolutely no amount of cannonballs fired at them, so you'll need to avoid storms and battles if you want to cash in. Expensive cloths will need to be kept dry or they will lose value. But if, like the salty sea dogs you imagine you prefer a world of persistent moisture, a cargo of plants will of course need to be watered, or they will be worthless by the time you arrive at your destination. Other new content coming to Sea of Thieves following Cursed Sails includes new bilge rat adventures called Cursed Crews, which will allow you to obtain for your own ship those dreaded evil cursed cannonballs that have led to my demise on more than one occasion. An upgraded inventory system is being implemented to allow you to manage these cursed cannonballs, as there are many different types with different effects. Now, this seems to me as though it will actually encourage griefing, which I understood they were trying to get a little bit away from, but Rare also announced the introduction of a PvP flag called the Reaper's Mark, which, when flown from your mast, will highlight your ship on the world map for all to see. I imagine this is to allow the kinds of people who just want trouble to find it without scouring the map for that little sloop full of weekend players who are just trying to mind their own business, but I think this flag is more likely to be used by crews of pirate legends who are bored with how stale and easy things are starting to get once they reach that level of experience. Real griefers aren't going to advertise their presence by raising a flag. They're much more likely to hide behind a rock and wait for a moment of vulnerability like the cowards that they are. One of the things I'd like to see in this game is the ability to easily warn other ships that there is a griefer in the area and they should watch their loot. An opportunity to do this came to me and my crew the other day after we were set upon by a tiny sloop that was little more than an irritation to us, but seemed to cause a little more grief to a sloop they passed which was moored at a nearby island. Anyway, the Reaper's Mark and the Cursed Cruise Bilge Rat adventure are being rolled out immediately after Cursed Sails has finished, and Forsaken Shores will be available from September the 19th, which, coincidentally, in inverted commas, is International Talk Like a Pirate Day, so if you needed another excuse to talk like a pirate, now you have it. I personally think it might be more helpful to have support groups for those of us who get far too carried away with games like this, and now find it difficult to stop talking like pirates because, frankly, it's starting to upset my wife and children. That's it for this video. I'll see you out there on the seas with more Sea of Thieves videos in the next few weeks, but until then, from Knight's Arcade, this is Sleepless Night saying nighty-night.